One thing I think is interesting to note when you look at these election results, and of course, it is important to note they're not complete yet, is what played out with the Latino vote. And we talk about this as if it's a monolithic vote, but of course, we've learned in this election that they are significantly divided. And surprisingly, many did break for the president. I'm looking at numbers here nationally. The president saw his share of the Hispanic vote go up to 35%. That's a 7 percentage increase from 2016. And what's interesting to watch here is how things broke down in individual states. You talked about the state of Texas there. Remember, a few days ago, we were talking potentially that Texas could swing for the Democrats, but in fact, he did win a significant margin with Hispanics in the state, 36% of the Hispanic vote. That's compared with 34% in 2016. And I want to see if we can pull up this chart here that points to the breakdown of what we refer to as the Latino vote, because it does show you how different the demographics are with the Cuban Americans. President Trump, as he traditionally has, as Republicans traditionally have, performed very strongly. But you look at, for example, with Mexican Americans, he didn't do quite as well. So this is why we're talking about states like Nevada, like in Arizona, because we have seen the demographic shift, but neither party really able to take a look at how even within the Latino vote, the communities are very divided.
No, it's a very good point. You think about Arizona, that being a state we're watching play out now, the importance of the Mexican American vote. There would be some poetry, I think, for a lot of people watching the race. You think about Arizona and the way President Trump has attacked repeatedly John McCain and what he said specifically about Mexican immigrants and referring to them as criminals and rapists before when he first started his campaign years back. There are a lot of people watching that play out and the importance of the Latino vote now in states like Arizona and Nevada that could come back to haunt him. But Aikiko, I mean, that's a very important thing to point out there, as we were just discussing. It's not easy to look at this because there are different communities enclosed in these groups that we look at, but clearly that was a big piece of the race.
Yeah, no question about that. I think it is interesting in Arizona, what you noted there, just how the McCain family still looms very large in the state. Of course, a lot of voters were turned off by President Trump's attacks on John McCain, but also Cindy McCain did come out and support Joe Biden in a big way. So just one other narrative to add to this ever-changing narrative, because there are still ballots that are being counted in Arizona. Much more to come, Zach. I'm sure we'll be talking about it tomorrow.
No, for sure. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. We'll be talking about it for the rest of our coverage here on Yahoo Finance Live today. Stay with us. The markets are in the green, but we are still watching closely those election results. We'll continue that coverage on the other side of the break. For Aikiko and myself, thanks for watching. We'll be right back after this.